Previously on Breaking Bad.
I am awake.
And I'm gonna press it. Oi.
Voila,
Hey.
so if you turn around, there we go!
Oh,
It's
hello.
both of us.
Yes, science!
The synchronization of
Objects.
objects,
Awesome.
exactly. And also executing server events. So, should we do that?
Let's do that.
So, let me just remember. What do we want to synchronize? Do we want to synchronize the gun when you're shooting? Or should we just, for now...
Should we start with something simple?
Yeah.
These guys.
Yes. Cool. Let's do that.
Did we remove the start server from one of the buttons?
Well, let's check.
Yes, we did. Good. Will the events also be synchronized?
Nope.
No.
Everything that's not added to any network behavior will not be synchronized
No.
because it's just local. So even if it's running on your machine, it won't be visible to the other clients that are connected to the same server.
That sucks.
Yes.
Can we do it something about it?
Oh, yes, we can do something about it. How about you figure it out?
That sucks less now.
Yeah.
I mean, what we could do is just to, like, instead of using the events, like a duct tape solution,
Mm-hmm.
just search for trigger inter, because if you see the other guys trigger inter, it will like still activate your, but then they need a collider actually.
Yeah, so what we need to do is to, when we hover enter or execute any of those methods, any of those interactables, what we need to do is call a method is from the client to the server and tell it, oi, hello, I'm doing this now. And the server will be like, okay, I'll make sure to say that you're doing this to everyone else. So basically, the simplest form is to have a network variable, which allows us to synchronize, same as network transform, like for all of those data types, but individual data types. So booleans, integers, floating point numbers, vector threes,
We're gonna have so much fun in this one.
etc. So there's another thing that's called a remote procedural call. So for example, with our gun that we are going to be shooting, we don't want to have a boolean that always goes to true or false depending on whether or not I'm pressing it. We just want it, whenever I'm pressing, tell the server, okay, instantiate a bullet, and then it executes it. So it doesn't maintain the life cycle of that variable. It just tells the server to execute a piece of code that one time. Okay, so let's just start by the simplest one, adding a network transform to our rigid body, our grabbable interactables, grab interactables.
So what do I add here?
We can add a network transform to it because this isn't owned by us. We want everyone to be able to grab them whenever they want to. So we add a network transform to it, and now we need to make sure that we can interact with it. So remember when we said that the server by default owns everything? So what we need to do is to tell the server, okay, I'm going to interact with this network transform now. So I'm going to be the owner.
I am the one who knocks.
Should we create a script for calling that method?
If that's what
should
it
we call
takes.
Yeah, I mean, we need to define it somehow.
I always spell it correctly, but otherwise it's too late. Press enter.
You need to save the script.
Why is it? I press enter.
And then we open it.
Boom.
Awesome.
What libraries do we need?
We need to send using unity.netcode. And we are gonna, I think we also need to inherit from network behavior. Yes, because we're gonna be making a server RPC call. So
Cool.
let me just do something real quick. Just wanna remember how.
Yes.
So we are going to create a method that says request ownership, because we want to tell the server, hey, this is mine.
Is it public?
Yeah, let's just make it actually. Let's just make it private for now. And it's gonna be void, and we just say request ownership. And then just it doesn't have any arguments for now, and we just say in this method.
In this method, no.
We are going to be calling another method, which is
method within a method.
Exactly. So this is going to be the same request ownership, but then for making remote procedure calls.
Okay, sorry.
So for making remote procedure calls in the terms of syntax, Unity has made it an option for us to define which method is going to be a server RPC. So we need to end the method name with server RPC. So capital S. Actually, I usually do underscore just to make sure that when I read it, no, it's all good.
What the fuck?
I'm
allergic. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
When we read it, we know what we're referring to. So underscore and then capital S, server RPC. So server and PC is gonna be small letters.
Server. What's going on? Server.
Capital R and then PC. Yeah. And then we are going to pass in our client ID because we want the server to know who's requesting. So we're gonna say network manager dot singleton dot local client dot client ID. And just like that, we're referring to our network object. Great. So now Unity is complaining because it's saying, well, what is request ownership server RPC? That's because we haven't defined it. So we're gonna make exactly what you're doing right now.
I have to now make sure I write exactly the same long name.
Just copy paste.
I don't do copy paste.
Okay.
Like a principle. I get errors instead. That's my take.
And then we're gonna pass in the
same.
The ulong. It's a data type ulong client ID.
But private ID.
Client
ID. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about this ulong?
It's like same as how we have ints, floats, and so on. It's referring to another data type. You know how in floats that are more precise, you would have a double instead. So long just refers to a longer real number type, not real number. How do you call it? Natural number. So no decimals. It just has a higher capacity.
Cool.
Yeah, and ulong, it's like the U refers to unsigned, so it's no negative number, so it's just positive, but we don't need to go into details. It's just a data, like an integer, but bigger size, basically.
Exactly.
So in here, we're going to be executing the change of ownership, because this will be on the server side. So to do that, we need to be able to reference the network object. So our network object is what handles the networking details of the specific object. So we have to create a variable locally here for storing our network object. So we can just say private.
Or what we want.
And network object. And then network object. Just give it a name, like net object I'm usually saying. Great, and then because this is a network behavior, we want to be able to do this when the server has spawned our game object. So not on start and not on update, but on server spawn. So the network behavior gives us an on-network spawn method that we can override.
Can I put it here?
Yes, you can say override.
Override, of course. Network what?
On-network spawn, so that one exactly. And in here, we're going to get our network object. You could do this in start because the game object is usually given in the Unity editor, not on runtime. But just for acknowledging the fact that this exists for things that we want to execute exactly after it's spawned, we can just do it here. So inside the onNetwork spawn, we just initialize our network object, which is going to be getting the component of the same game object. So net object equals
What did I call it?
net object get component network object. Beautiful. And then with this, we can now say, hello server, I have this network object and I want it to be mine. I want you to give it to this client ID. So now we can go ahead to our request ownership server RPC and say net object dot change ownership, and then pass in the client that we want to give it to. So client ID. And just like that, we're telling the server, hello, this is mine now. But on compilation time, build time, Unity needs to know which methods are for the server. So our request ownership server RPC is going to have a specification for our server RPC. So like the square brackets on top of the method. I can just
where is the method? Here it is.
Server RPC. So I can just.
But should it? I cannot see in your laptop where it is exactly. Is it in here?
No, it's outside the method, like right above the method. So, and then we say square brackets server RPC, and that's telling Unity this as a server RPC. So this is only going to execute. No, so this require ownership we don't really need. Because we're already saying that we're going to change ownership. Actually, we say in parentheses of the require ownership.
There we go. As you can see here is also
equals false. So this is basically telling Unity request it's require, not request. Sorry, require ownership.
Require ownership.
Yeah, and then remove the other. So this is basically telling Unity, okay, so this method I'm declaring is going to be executed in the server, but I'm not gonna have ownership by default, but I want to be able to change it to me to have ownership over it. So Unity says, okay, now I know that this is a method that's only executed on the server. The person that's executing it, calling it, doesn't need to have ownership over the object already. And
when that is this run, because it's nowhere right now, it feels like in between two methods, right?
No, so it's like, for example, when you were saying serialize field, right? So in there you're basically adding more specification, more details on the data type itself. So here we have a method, so we're adding a specification to that method that on compilation time, on build time, it will initialize this method however you want it to be specified.
Okay.
So this server RPC refers to only the how do you call it? Yeah, so you can actually go more into what it is and the RPC attribute. And then here we have like an attribute. So these things are called attributes, and that's what you see in square brackets that allow you to define more details about the variable that you're defining or method that you're defining. Okay, great. So this is actually all we need to do for changing ownership over an object. And now if we go back to the Unity editor, we are going to add a network transform to it. Because we want to synchronize it.
When are we? Sorry, I just should be a little refreshed to ask you more questions.
Yeah.
When are we running this request ownership? At this point, we're not running it, right?
Yeah, we're not running it now. Actually, we should probably make this one public.
Because you need to have access to it, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking about doing it from the same script, but there's no need. So this we're going to execute from the interactable events that we've already set up.
So okay.
So,
See, there are so many good uses for the interactive event.
so on hover, we wanted to.
Not the first time, but always actually.
So it depends on what we want the other users to see, right? So if like for me, my sake, like the feedback on like I'm selecting it now, like the users will see that you're handling it, right? So they don't need extra feedback. So for
no, but the ownership should be changed. So it shouldn't be on hover insert, but on hover. I mean on hover first hover insert, but just hover insert.
Yeah, I mean we can just do it on hover. Every time we hover over it, then it does it. So and then we need to pass in the the network grabbable that we defined, and then request ownership. Great. So, and did the network transform add a network object automatically, or do we need to add one? So if you go down.
Oh, sorry, what did you say?
If we go down, yes, network transform, network grabbable. I think we need to add a network object because
here, or should we do it in another script? Okay.
So network object, it's provided by
Unity.
Unity. Netcode.
So now this is doing what? Telling it this is a networked object.
Yeah, so this is telling Unity, so this is, it basically gives an ID, an identifier to, the documentation hasn't been updated. It gives an identifier to the network, to network this object. So other clients will see this network object, and the way that they can see the network transform, for example, when the other person is moving it, is because the server is detecting the network ID, so the network object for this game object, the grabbable object. So, and it says, okay, the same as we did change ownership to this client ID, it'll say, so this network object is owned by this client ID. So then everyone will be able to see it moving.
Should we just play here?
And then we'll see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then we'll fix it. Hey, nice, okay, but what if we actually haven't printed anything, so I'm just gonna check it in the scene. Actually, maybe we can look at it. So, interactable network objects, down below. Network object, okay, so when you hover over it, then it's owner. Yeah, okay, so it's the owner.
Woohoo!
Yes, science!
Great. So, what are we doing when, did you grab it actually?
No, I just hover over it.
Okay,
That was what we went for.
Yeah, should we try, do we have any, we have added scripts to, no we haven't.
I don't think we are.
This is grabbable, right?
This is grabbable.
Yeah.
But
Should we grab it?
yes, but is it network the position you're saying?
Yeah,
And how can we debug?
transform.
How can we know that is
So we can in here print
X position or something?
yeah, so in here we can just say print debug.log, yeah, and then changing on ownership.
Okay, I thought it was
sorry.
something. But what about the position if I'm grabbing it and moving it?
So that we can test by
having
directly
both
seeing it on the
problems.
client,
Okay,
yeah.
changing ownership, whatever. Yeah, so I'm gonna just provide changing ownership. Because it worked if the ownership actually.
So if you have ownership over it and it has a network transform,
Then it should be.
Then it should work.
Exciting. Hey, did it debug log?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Now I have a box inside the box.
Yeah, it's because you have the hand.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Oh. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Oh.
All right. So now
Should we build?
we can try building it and see if it works. And then, so you create the host in the build that you create.
Let me create that host.
Beautiful. Our host is created.
So I'm going away so the client can get in, right?
Yes. Okay. So, all right. client is
Yeah,
starting,
yeah, I can
and then
see.
we have the other person. So what happens if?
Can you see on this screen what I'm doing on that screen? No, it freezes.
Yeah. So
But does
I'm
that
gonna
one
go over
freeze?
here,
That one also
and
freezes.
then you go over and try to
Grab it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But wait, actually, no. 1 second. I'm gonna
No,
put this
can,
on
can you
scene.
put the other one?
Yeah. So here on scene,
Uh-huh.
I can have this both visible, and then I go back to this one.
Once I grabbed it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So yeah.
Oh fuck. Where am I? Ah, I'm here. So I'm gonna go maybe over here. Oh wait, over here. So I can better see. Oh fuck. God damn it.
I mean, but you
Yeah,
should just
sure.
go to the network.
Okay,
driver
we can
one.
see now, right?
Yeah.
Can you change me to the other guy?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
But
but-
it's frozen on the other one, so that's
yeah,
why
but then you can
can't-
change. I can hold it.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't be visible here because you'll drop it probably.
Oh, yeah,
Wait, hold up.
it's not visible.
Oh, something. No, it's still there, so it's not actually. Seems like it's not synchronizing.
No. Also, ownership is not debugged. Right?
Doesn't seem like it. No.
No. I go and
The
start
client.
the client.
All right, so we've joined as client,
Yes.
and then 1 second, I'm just gonna go on scene view here.
Still, but I'm here. Okay,
So you're the client right now.
cool.
And you go over to grab that. Okay, so we can see that the network object is no longer the owner, like the host isn't the owner anymore.
Okay, but it's not been transformed.
But the network transform isn't working. But we can see that it's changing ownership.
Yes.
And because we can see it because it's printing on the server only.
Mm.
Before it didn't print because you were the client, but now it is printing because the server RPC is only called on the server, so changing ownership. However, so that ownership thing works, however the network transform isn't. And that is
Something that everyone knows about.
weird.
But this network transform.
But this network transform is not working. Ah, it's
The
because we
rigid
need to add a
body.
rigid body to it.
But it
because-
does have a rigid body.
No, a network rigid
Network
body.
rigid
sorry.
body.
Yes, I forgot it was a physical option.
There we go. Oh, 2D. Oh, sorry. Too fast. Too fast.
Too excited.
Too fast.
Okay, great.
There we
So
go.
this network rigid body, we can actually like
It
see
doesn't
what-
have anything.
Yeah, so we can actually see what it does is just add some specifications on. Hey, this is a physics object, but
Let's do it again, man.
yeah. Apologies. One, yes.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. And you
that'll
go
go.
somewhere else. Great. And then we're gonna go to the other client.
I'm gonna create the client.
All right, great. So now we have both of them together.
And I go and grab.
Yes,
Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Whoa. Okay.
So,
3, 2, 1.
great. And it doesn't work.
Hey. There we go. It's figured out.
Okay, so we figured out what was the problem, and the problem is same as with our hands. We said network transform, nope. Instead, client network transform because we want the client to be the one that is authoritative over it instead of the server. So we have to do the same thing. Instead of having a normal network transform, we should have a client network transform, the script that we created before to override the server authority.
So I remove this guy.
Yes, you
Remove
remove that
component,
thing, and then we
and
can also,
And then I write a network
the client network transform.
line network transform. Boom.
Yes, beautiful. Alright. And then, So this is saying that it needs a rigid body, like a network rigid body. So it, yeah, it'll still work somewhat. So let's just try it out as it is, and then I'll explain what it's referring to.
Join as the client. Oh.
Beautiful. Alright, so now in the scene view of this, I'm gonna be able to see both. Okay, and now go ahead and try to grab the interactable.
I will go ahead and try to grab the interactable. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Okay.
And now,
yeah,
you have objects in real life. There we go.
Hey,
You
look
can see
at this.
that is working on both. So we can see in the editor, the green cube is being moved around, and that's on the other client. So on Ali's client right now, we're moving it, and then you can put it back on the table or whatever, and then it'll be there. Okay, great. Let's try now. You're gonna be the host, and try and go and grab.
Hey, and it keeps its position.
Oops. There we go. Now he has it.
Why did I teleport? Holy shit. Hey, you still have it?
So if I go over to the other one, and if you turn around, you'll see that the other one is holding the beautiful.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
Hi guys, and welcome back to. We had a break of a day. And yes, so we are here maybe for the second episode, I don't know, of the networking training. So we learn how to social network. Hello, my name is Ali. What are you working on?
I work on doing stuff.
Oh,
and
nice.
things.
I like stuff, man. Let's talk about stuff. But yeah.
Do you also do stuff?
I do stuff, but you have prepared some stuff for us. You have prepared the new Netcode in Unity.
Yes.
And you're so nice. Today we're gonna work on. Ooh.
It looks like a gun.
Yeah. Hair dry. I don't know.
Yes.
Cool.
So we're going to be instantiating bullets over the network.
As it is now, it is instantiating bullets already from the last lecture. Can we use these bullets, or should we make our own bullets from bottom?
We can use those bullets, but we're
nothing on
gonna.
these bullets.
But we can use the same bullet. We just need to modify a little bit and add some networking functionality to it.
Awesome. Will it be the same networking functionalities that we did to the
it will be similar, but with a distinction on we'll be spawning the networked object instead, because when you instantiate normally in Unity, it's a local instantiation, but then Unity Netcode provides a network spawn method, which is the same as normal instantiation.
Awesome.
But
so powerful.
network. Yeah.
Thank you, Unity.
Yes.
Please reduce your prices. Yes. So, should I add stuff to this?
I think first we should probably fix, because I don't think it's saved, the direction of where like the
the bullets are coming on?
Yeah, the spawner.
Yes. Let's have a look at the gun. Because it shoots out of the x-axis, so I need to rotate this like
yeah, same happened last
in the video? Okay,
yeah.
I forgot. Is a gun-ish thing, right? Huh?
It's a gun-ish thing. Yeah.
And the x-axis still out here? Perfect.
Beautiful.
Let's just work with the gun-ish.
But then let's also remove the box collider from it, so they don't.
We're
capture
gonna remove this capsule collider. Boom.
It's because the bullets are gonna have their own colliders, so we don't want them to already collide from the beginning.
Perfect.
Cool. So, I mean, we can either try it out and see if it works, or just go straight to networking.
Let's shoot stuff. Whoa.
Alright, seems like it works.
Oh. Oh shit. We need to work with some of this stuff, but yeah.
You have
Yeah,
you have the best accuracy.
Yes.
The new Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood got it from me. Cool, it's working. So let's make these bullets network.
Alright, so let's just start by opening the script that handles the spawner of the bullets.
So this is the gun that handles the spawner. This one?
Yes, the shooter script. Alright, so can we minimize this?
No. This? Oh shit. Everything I do happens like 20 seconds later. There we go.
Thank you. So, okay, we have, we're grabbing the ground variable, okay, and then we're in listener, and then bang bang, and that instantiates the bullet, and then gives it the new position for the spawn position, and then spawn with a certain velocity.
And
Cool,
speed.
okay.
Direction.
Yes.
Cool.
So we can do the same thing, but same as yesterday, we're gonna want to be able to network this. So instead of inheriting from mono behaviors, just as we did all the previous times, we're gonna inherit from network behavior, and for that we need to import the unity.netcode library. Beautiful. And then network
Inherit
behavior.
from that.
Yes.
Okay. In real life, I don't inherit anything, but in Unity, I inherit a lot of
A
stuff.
lot of things. Like every day you inherit this.
It's so nice.
Okay, great. So now with this, we can actually do the same as we did the other day, where we made a remote procedural call to the server. So it would instantiate on the server side, so it tells all the other clients as well.
Awesome. We're gonna do everything again from bottom, so we can practice it again, and hopefully it will sit. It will never sit. You will have to probably look it up every time you're gonna use this.
Yes.
But don't worry, that's how programming is.
Yeah.
We're always looking stuff up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So let's just can you see the bang bang thing?
Bang,
Okay.
bang.
Yeah. So in here, like same as we did the other day, let's just call this. Let me think. So we're gonna create a new method called whatever.
Public or private?
We can make let's just make it public in case we want to pull it from somewhere else.
Mhm.
Public void spawn bullet. Yeah,
Network.
but then we're gonna say server RPC because that's gonna be executed only server.
As an input or?
No,
how
as
does
the
that work?
in the signature of the method.
Oh.
Yeah, and then
Does it take anything?
no, it's fine because we're gonna pass in instead of in bang bang doing it, we're going to move that those lines of code and move them into the spawn bullet server RPC.
And we need everything from creating it to destroying it.
Yes. So in bang bang, because we're receiving the activate event arguments, we should just call the spawn server spawn bullet on the server RPC. So in spawn bullet server RPC, same as we did the other day, we added an attribute to it, and the attribute is server RPC.
That was this thing, right?
Exactly, and then
And
we
we call
say
it
server RPC.
server RPC.
Yes, and for now we don't need to say that we require ownership
Alright.
because it's the server that's going to be instantiating. Then moving on from that.
So when I write this server is being instantiated, and then it will listen.
So when you write this is telling Unity that this method is only to be executed by the server.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's called client RPC, and that's only executed by the clients.
So what if the client want to shoot?
Yeah, so the client is calling this method, but it's telling the server, hello, I want you to execute
so
this.
the client call
Exactly.
the server, hello, I want to shoot.
Yeah, and the server is like, okay.
So, okay, you are not allowed to shoot, but I can shoot. So you tell me
Exactly.
you want to shoot, then I shoot.
And then,
Will that create some kind of delays?
Well, like, no, because it depends on your internet connection, obviously, but like, so you're telling it to the server, and the server is telling all the clients, including yourself.
Okay, so a server is like one ring to rule them all?
Exactly.
Cool.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so Lord of the Bullets. Then in here, what we're going to do, we instantiate the bullet the same way, but then there's a difference where we can grab the network object of the bullet.
Mhm.
So
Cool.
after instantiating it, the new bullet, so like just
No, right after
that,
that.
yeah.
No movement.
We're going to say network object
Yes, sir.
equals the new bullet. We need to have a variable name.
What should we call it? Network bullet?
Yeah.
Net bullet.
Yeah, net bullet.
And it's
Equals-
called, this is a new bullet.
Yeah,
Right.
new bullet, and then we get the component so of type
What
network object.
Come on, give it to me.
Beautiful.
There you go.
And so with this, now we have access to the network object of it.
So we have just created an instance of this guy online, right?
Exactly.
Or in this network.
But then we need to instantiate this over the network. Right now it's just instantiated locally, but we need to like spawn this over the server, and
Over
that's
the
why we need to get access to the network object. So now that we have the network object, we can say netbullet.spawn.
Ooh, so now it's just. Is that it? Is it a method?
Yeah, that's a method. Boom.
Nice.
Easy as that.
Whoa, guys.
So normally you would also check in case the network object is null, but we're going to make sure that the bullet prefab itself has a network object and a network transform on them. And then from this, we can, like, instead of setting the position after instantiation, we can actually set it up already when we're instantiating the bullet. So
Sorry, come again. My coffee was just.
So in line 45 right now we have new bullet that transform that position equals the spawn position. So but we can do it directly from line 41 when we're instantiating the bullet.
We can give it the position of the spawn position.
So in line 41, besides the bullet prefab, it can also accept which position and rotation we want it to instantiate by default with. So we can directly add them as extra parameters. So if you had a comma after the bullet.
Oh man, comma.
A comma, like
Transform parent, so you can get the new bullets as a transform, right?
Yeah, but then we're gonna say the spawn position, because like the same as we did.
So I just have to do a spawn position, and it's gonna
position.
get the.
And then the same with the rotation.
Does it? There's something wrong here.
Yeah, no, it's because it has 10
It has to have the rotation also. It is a bool instantiation in bool space.
No, that's like what it's thinking you're gonna pass in, but it has like 10 different options.
Okay.
And the one we want to
position.
use is position, and then the next one is rotation.
So I do a rotation now also.
Yes.
Without it will being spawn rotation.
Spawn position and then the rotation. Beautiful. There you go.
Nice.
And then we can just delete
This one.
the other line. Perfect.
Bye bye.
Yes. And then so now to be able to handle the life cycle of the bullet, I would suggest directly creating a script for the bullet itself.
Wow.
Like later on you can add more behavior in case it collides with anything and so on. So right now it's spawned, but then when the bullet is spawned on the network, we will be able to give it the velocity.
Okay, right now it's from here. It's controlled.
So we want to move it over to
It's bullet.
the bullet itself, because it will all have the same.
Then we can play around with the different
exactly.
animations and impact,
Exactly.
sounds.
And then because it's a prefab, you can give it different, how do you call it? You can create different prefabs with the same script, but with different variable values. So let's say the speed you want, instead of like a rifle, you want it to be like I don't know.
We can do that. We can do that if it's also, I mean, yeah, relevant for the
Yeah.
network part of it.
Of course, like it is relevant in the sense that we want to know when the network object is spawned because
But
if we do
can we know it from here?
we can do it from here, but we need to subscribe to the event and know when it has
Yeah,
spawned.
exactly.
So it's easier to just directly do it.
So
from,
we go to bullet.
So we create a script for the bullet. Yes.
Okay.
So right now this is basically like a bullet spawner script, and then there's gonna be a bullet script itself.
And let's hope that bullet script will be bulletproof.
But
It's morning. And I haven't slept much, so it'll be bad. Okay,
That was a good
prefab,
one.
bullet, boom.
beautiful.
Bullet behavior?
Yeah, sure.
Bullet behavior. It's important to find nice names, maybe nicer names than this, but yeah.
And then
Where is bullet behavior? It looks like it's gonna open it, but it doesn't open it. Oh, it's opening.
I
It just
think
needs
it's
some time.
compiling still.
It's compiling still. Give it some time.
And then to our bullet itself, we're going to add a network transform and a network object, so as to be able to identify them over the network.
Are we there yet?
I think so. We can actually just do it here now that we have it open, or later. It's okay.
Yeah, that's just. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. So in here we're going to do the same as before. We want to inherit from network behavior. So
we're gonna use the Unity Netcode.
Beautiful.
What this whole lectures are about.
Yes.
Then we're gonna inherit from network behavior.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And so now we're going to we want to know when the bullet has spawned to be able to give it the velocity that it should have. So we can
Can we use bang bang?
yeah, so
Oh, I
like because network behavior, we're already spawning it from
Yeah.
bang bang, and then that's spawning it over the network. So because we're inheriting in bullet behavior from network behavior, we can override the method on spawn server, I think it was called. So
Awesome.
on network spawn or something like that.
So we create.
So we override.
Alright.
Yeah.
That method.
And then network spawn, on network spawn.
This one, right?
Yes, exactly.
Boom.
Beautiful. And then in here, if we go back to the shooter script, we can just copy paste what we want.
In live or just?
Yeah, sorry, these two, the last lines, the new bullet get component rigid velocity. So we want to give it the velocity and the
Position.
destroying the bullet, like the position. We don't need to do
we
it
have the
anymore.
position here.
Yes.
So that's all good.
Let's just do it after
Question?
the base.
Okay, now we are listening for it here. Still. There,
Yeah, so
still.
this we should.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
is wrong. Sorry?
Okay, so in Bang Bang, we're just this is the listener that is listening to the XR grab interactable for the gun. So from this method, we want to call the server RPC. So we can delete all of this and just directly call spawn bullet server RPC.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. It all makes sense now. So how do we do it?
So we just call spawn bullet server.
Oh yeah, it's right here. Yeah. It doesn't take any input. Boom.
Beautiful.
That's so easy.
And then, so we're saying whenever I grab this object and I select it, then it'll like activate it. I think that's the listener that we're listening to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab will activate it at listener. So it'll tell the server, hello, I have this bullet, I want you to instantiate it. And then once the bullet is instantiated on the server, then on our shooters, on our bullet behavior, we see when it has spawned, and then we give it the velocity.
This has no idea what it is. It's very philosophical.
Yes.
It's like, what am I?
It's trying to figure out what it is. It's because we haven't defined what the new bullet is. So, but we know what the new bullet is because we are already the bullet. So we can actually just
Hard the bullet.
yeah, we can remove the
Now we can just
the new
add
bullet
get component.
because it's exactly in the same.
So we are the same place. Perfect.
Yes, and then in here the spawn position from the
We don't have it
shooter
yet.
script. We don't have it, but we did instantiate it already with the forward vector of the spawn position. So it has the same position as a spawner. So we can actually give it in our bullet behavior, we can just say transform.forward because it's
My
there
own,
already. Yeah,
my
exactly.
precious.
Yeah. And then the bullet speed we're gonna have to create.
We're gonna have to create. Can we
Yeah.
just create up here and
Yes, exactly.
make it public so people can change it as
Exactly.
they want? Public float.
Yeah, public floaty.
Public floaty. Let's speak. What do we call it?
Bullet speed, yeah.
Oh,
Or we can also do it as serialized field because we're not gonna be needing it from anywhere else. But let's
whatever,
just
man.
have it like that.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, not whatever. I mean, of course, it's a good idea to show it. Maybe. Sorry.
yeah, no, it
I'm
doesn't
getting
really,
carried away. Yeah.
It doesn't really make a difference. In this one, it's just
Memory.
for
I mean, right
like
now.
being able to access it from other places is illegal.
Then we have a problem, man.
Yes, so like the base on network spawn, we should do it like at the beginning of the method because you're calling the parent class already implemented method, and then we want to add something to it. So if you want to completely override it, then you can remove the base.onNetworkSpawn. And right, I don't think it does anything, but just for safekeeping, let's just leave the so cut from line 29 and move it out to the top of the method. So it depends on what the use case is, but in our case,
Can you rehearse what exactly this does?
yeah. So as I was saying before, when you're inheriting from network behavior or any other sort of a class, your parent class is the base. In C#, the syntax you call it as base. So base something is referring to a method that exists within the parent class. So when you override the on-network spawn, the on-network spawn already, like in general in C# will have a certain implementation or non-implementation. But if it does have one, then base.onNetwork spawn will execute the same code as the one in the parent class, and then you're simply adding to it. It's like adding an extension to a method that already exists.
Super nice.
So, and then this destroy new bullet, we just want to say this game object instead. But there is actually a difference, same as with instantiation, there's also a difference with network destroying. So I actually have to look up how to destroy it, because I don't remember the method name. Yeah, okay, so we just need to access the network object of this.
Sorry, I'm just gonna answer.
Oh, good, no worries.
Our TA, Lukas Gade.
Yeah.
We love you, man.
So same as before, like don't worry, you can just reply and just
Yeah.
say something else. So same as before when we were getting the network object, that's referring to the network identifier of the object, and that's what we want to despawn, to delete instead of the game object itself, because we want it to delete on everyone's computer the devices. So if we go back to bullet behavior, we can just say we can grab the network object, so we can say var net object equals.
So here in destroy, right?
Yeah. So, but not directly in destroy,
Whoa.
but just getting the network object before. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Net object or whatever you want to
I
do.
can call it whatever, right?
Yeah. Equals get component network object.
No, yeah. Yes.
And then with it, this is what we can delete. So there's a method that Unity provides that's called network. So net object dot
Man, net object.
But instead of from destroy, we can just delete this whole line, the destroy.
Whoa, man.
And we say net object dot despawn.
Net object dot despawn. I saw that despawn and I was thinking, what is that?
And voila, what
Voila.
we're doing is despawning it from the scene, but on the server side. So the server will tell, hello everyone, all the clients that are connected to me, despawn this bullet.
Super nice.
And we can, let me think. Does it accept any, because we were destroying it after 10 seconds, does it accept any time?
Hello?
Like 10?
What do you want?
Great, alright.
10 what,
no,
apples?
it doesn't. Wait a minute.
I don't know.
I want to see which
There we go. Who will destroy true? Okay.
one. Yeah, of course. But wait, what is this? We can actually just go ahead and see the implementation by pressing on F12. Bold destroy equals shoot, so there's only one despawn.
Actually, we need the timer.
Yeah, we do need the timer, so it doesn't seem like there's one here,
No.
so let's just do it our own way. So there's this thing, usually for timers,
Oh god.
you do a coroutine,
Yeah.
so you use an enumerator. It's like, I'm gonna say start coroutine, but you can, like, in your mind, you can just imagine starting a timer.
Should I
And
do this here?
Yeah, start coroutine,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then you give it a name of the...
On network despawn?
No, it's not created yet, so we're just gonna create it afterwards. So for now, just create the method. So capital D, despawn, yeah, and then yeah, exactly, and then the semicolon, and then now we're going to create the despawn method.
I robot,
Yeah, that one.
This one? No,
The
this
blue
one.
yeah, exactly. And then we're gonna say we're gonna give it the name. So despawn.
Despawn.
Oh yeah. Was it
Capital
capital?
D, yeah. I mean, you can call it whatever, it's just usually when you, in C#, it's recommended to...
Why is it not happy? Did I...
Because
It's
it
the
needs
same.
to return
Something.
an enumerator. So we're going to say return yield... no, sorry, it's not a return, it's going to be remove return. Yield return. Yeah, that's correct. New. Yeah, yield return new. And then wait for seconds. And we give it 10. And then after this, we can actually we can do the despawning. So our network object and netObject.despawn lines are going to go after this. So what we're basically doing is we're telling, like, after it's spawned, we set the velocity and then we start a coroutine. It's like starting a timer. You're saying, okay, start this timer, and this timer is going to, like, each time it ticks, it's going to see if the 10 seconds have passed. If they haven't, it's not going to do anything. So, but once it's finished, it's going to execute the code that comes after it. So it's going to say, get my network object and then despawn myself. I'm not sure what this true method is
If
doing.
it does anything, I mean, let's remove it and see if it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Because why would I write this spawn and false?
Yeah, I mean, they probably have the reasons,
Yeah,
but
probably. Okay, then I feel like we have everything we had before.
yes,
That works.
let me just check the shooter script, because I think we are probably forgetting something. Yeah, so we can actually remove lines 42 and 45, because...
Now we got it network.
Exactly.
The bullets.
So, beautiful, now we just need to make sure that our bullet has a network object and network transform.
Let's put stuff on it.
Yes. And it also has a rigid body, so we should also add a network rigid body to it.
Super nice.
And hopefully everything will work.
Probably not. Bullet does not have a rigid object.
Yes,
thank you very much. Holy shit, where did we go? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's change it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's very important to save your scene. In case.
I don't think we did anything in the scene.
Yeah, so
nothing to be worried about much, but ooh, we got a network object.
Cool. So let's add a network transform to it as well.
Network transform.
And
Boom.
a network rigid body. To
And a
it.
network rigid body.
Because we have a rigid body.
Because we have a rigid body.
Alright, beautiful. So now we save. You have to
Control S, Control S, Control S.
Yeah. And then
Then we pray.
then we try it out.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
I'm actually shooting at you physically.
Okay. It does not work.
I mean, is it? No, okay. It's not that because it's too fast. Or anything.
No, I don't see anything happening.
Let's
So
do some debugging and shit.
there is nothing, no errors anywhere. So let me just see where our gun. The gunners doesn't have a network object.
Ah, so he has no idea what's going
Wait,
on.
no manually added because we're on runtime. It's gonna.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you change anything during runtime, once you get back, it's gone.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just add our network object to our network object.
Here's some music from your library.
I'm sorry, that was a bit loud.
I don't know what happened with my network object.
Yeah,
And
I think that's
that's it.
actually.
We
It's,
don't need that.
actually, no.
Don't we need like rigid body and
I want to see when
we want to
our
see the
gun is
gun
moving, so let's just add a
moving.
network transform to it.
Also
yes.
network
Actually,
rigid
let's make. I think we need a client network transform. Yeah, because we want to do the same as before with the interactable.
network transform. There we go. And does it need a rigid body also network? No?
Yes, but let me just check one thing before.
do
It
you want to
has. So can I just see what it has? So it has. Is it a grabbable?
Is it grabbable? See.
Yeah, rigid body. Okay, so we want to make sure because like by default it's going to be owned by the server. That's why we said client network transform. But when we grab it, we want to make sure that we own it. So we're missing that because that's what we did on the other interactive, if you remember. So let's just see.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
So in our interactable, the one we set up yesterday with the network, we have client network transform, network grabbable as well. So if you go into this script just to see what it does again, we have, yeah, exactly. So we're inheriting from like a network behavior and then we're requesting ownership over it. So
But we're already doing that here also.
exactly.
But we just don't request ownership over it.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a network grabbable because it's also
Network grabbable.
exactly.
But it does have a network grabbable, the gun. No, it doesn't have a
No, it
network
doesn't
grabbable.
have one.
Let's
So
add a network grabbable.
exactly.
Network grabbable. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Good.
All right. And what this is doing is so the client network transform is the same as a network transform, but we the server doesn't have authority over it because we want to control it.
Yes, sir.
And then we add this network grabbable so that whenever we interact with it, it'll tell the server, "Hello, I want ownership over this right now." Okay, cool. Let's try it out. Ah, wait, no, hold up. We forgot something. No, you don't have to remove it. It's we didn't create the host, so we weren't connected to the server before. Okay.
But I can do it now.
Yeah. But I think that's the reason why nothing was happening. And no errors showed up.
Oh.
All right, so we're the host now. Great. So now
We are the host. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I was born ready.
Oh. It's beautiful. We can make art, man.
So.
Wow.
So setting linear velocity of kinematic body is not supported. Okay, so that's yeah.
It should not be kinematic.
So we
Can you tell us a little bit what
you see,
kinematic means?
It's deleting the
Bullets
bullets
after
after
10 seconds. That's beautiful.
Okay,
Cool.
so
We should go to this rigid body in our prefab.
so kinematic basically means so like with rigid bodies, what you're doing is adding a physical state to your game object. So if you go to the rigid body, we can see that we have like a gravity and is kinematic boolean. So gravity is the same as what you would expect, that it falls down like at 9.8 meters per second. Wait, no, 9.8 meters per squared second. So
Like gravity.
yeah, gravity. I don't remember how to say it in English.
Newton.
Yeah.
Our science.
When we want it to be affected by physics, we don't want it kinematic. So if we see our console, it's saying setting linear velocity of a kinematic body is not supported.
The thing is, this thing is not kinematic.
Yeah, exactly. So what we can do is just override it directly here. So instead of dot velocity directly, we can create a component. So just be like over here, we say var to get access to the rigid body because we're going to be accessing it twice. So var rigid body equals get component rigid body.
There we go. Now we have it, and then we come down here, right?
Yes, and then we can say directly instead of
All of this,
we can just say rigid body dot velocity and equals to that. And before that, we want it to be non-kinematic. So we say rigid body dot is kinematic equals false. It's a boolean, so we say is kinematic equals false.
But it was in the method, I forgot. There we go.
All right. Actually, no, it's a network rigid body, so I'm not even sure this is gonna work. But let's just try it out and see if that fixes it.
this, grabbing this, and then are you ready?
I was born ready.
Oi,
Alright,
oi,
there we go.
oi.
Tight, yeah!
Oi,
Beautiful.
man. Hey.
Nice.
This one probably got some different. Anyways.
So as you saw, the worst physics applied to it, but those other interactables don't have any network transform on them or anything. So,
One of them, huh?
yeah, one of them has, but like we're not gonna do it now. But like if you want it to be affected by physics and like to actually synchronize, then you follow the same methodology and add network transform to it. Where needed, you have like ownership, like you request ownership over it and so on. But yeah, so we're successfully spawning bullets over them, but we need to test out if it's actually showing up on the other build. So-
Yes. So we should build, we should
We
save.
should save
we
and
should
build.
build and save. I'm gonna start server.
Yes.
Now I go client. Boom. Oh shit, that was my script. Boom.
There we go. All right.
Who shoots?
So you just shoot.
I mean, both of them should be able to
I'm
shoot.
just gonna first, before you do that, I'm gonna.
Can you look at the editor?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna switch this into the scene. 1 second. So.
I grabbed the gun, was it too fast?
No, it's okay. I'm just gonna go to the other guy. So it's. So actually, maybe you go. I mean, you can start shooting if you want, and then we can.
Can you see stuff?
Yeah.
Is it moving?
Yeah, it is moving.
Awesome. Can I shoot myself in the head?
Try it out.
No, I cannot.
Well, you can't. Only the owner can invoke a server RPC that requires ownership. Well.
We
okay.
didn't send the client to the server and stuff we talked about
Yeah,
earlier.
apologies.
I can hit it in the head. Oh shit, no, fuck.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so actually the host will be able to actually shoot.
Let's see. It was about to hit me in the head, yeah, you little.
Okay.
We should give it a rigid body to the head.
The
Would be
first
nice.
messages were received for a trigger of type on spawn key, but trigger was not received within 1 second. Okay, so we're having some errors on the client side. First things first, we need to add, where's the script? When we're calling it from our shooter script, we need to say server RPC requires ownership false, because we don't have ownership over shooter script.
Yes.
I feel like there's something off here, but let's just add requires ownership equals false, because everyone's gonna be able to grab the parentheses.
So like this. Inside.
Yeah,
Requires ownership equals false.
exactly. And then let's see what the editor was complaining about before. It was saying deferred messages were received for a trigger of type on spawn. Deferred messages. Oh, okay. No network grabbable. Did we add it to it?
Nope.
Well, that probably explains why it didn't. It was complaining about the.
But it was moving still, but yeah. It knows what you want. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, save, and then we can just build and run.
I'm here now, right?
Yeah.
I just.
You can join as a client, and there we go. We have the other guy. So just I'm gonna put this other one here.
Should I grab or should she grab?
Let's just try the host first,
I'm gonna grab.
because I want to see if the bullets are instantiating.
Yes.
Okay, the bullets are not instantiating on the client side. Now, go ahead and do it from the client instead.
If you can bump me to the client.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Client, I have no idea what a bullet is.
And can you trigger it?
Can you send me debug?
Yeah, it's failed to spawn network object for hash. Network prefab could not be found. Is the prefab registered with network manager? Wait, do we have to add it to the network list? Let me see. Let's stop this. So that is complaining that there's no bullet, but you are doing it from the host, right?
Yes.
Which
think
is
so.
weird. But okay, in any case, we just go over to the network manager and we have a network player, but we can also see that there's a network player, a network prefabs list. So what we can try and do is to add a prefab that can be instantiated from the network manager onto this network prefabs list. So
That sounds like.
let me just see. Bullet, it does have network transform, network rigid body, network object. Okay, and bullet behavior is a network behavior script. So what we're gonna do is in our shooter script we can access the network manager. So we can just say, because it's network behavior, we can actually instead of doing all of this in start, we can just do it when the gun is spawned. So
When the gun is spawned or
yeah,
activated?
network spawn. So
Network spawn.
we can just override the same method as before. Override on network spawn. And then after this, we're gonna add the same things as we added on start. And then we can delete both the start and update method, because just to clean up a little bit. We're not using the bullet speed here, so we can actually also remove that. Great. Besides this, we have, let me see, network spawn, we have that, bang bang, which calls our spawn bullet server RPC with no requiring ownership.
No, that's
And then in here, so once the network has spawned, we're gonna add to the network manager the bullet prefab as a network prefab to the network prefab list. So network manager, and same as yesterday, we're gonna add call the singleton of the network manager,
yes.
and then dot prefab, yeah, a network prefab actually is right there, and then pass in our bullet prefab.
What is it called?
Bullet, I think. Yeah, bullet. We just check if that's what we're spawning afterwards. Yeah, bullet. Cool. Alright, so we can try this out now to see if it removes one of the errors. So let's just save, go back to Unity. And yeah, this is how it goes. It's just, I would suggest fixing one error at a time instead of trying to fix the whole thing. Because you don't know if it's going to fix the whole thing. And it may actually overcomplicate your code unnecessarily. So one thing at a time. All prefabs must be registered before starting network manager when force same prefabs is enabled. What's this?
Take it away.
Yeah, so we've figured out what was going on. So in our shooter script, so it was complaining about like the network prefab hadn't been added correctly because it was being executed in a different time. So what we did was just move this line of code to the start method instead. So we added the start method again. And the reason for this is because it first needs to register the prefabs that are going to be instantiated over the network before the network server and everything is started. So it needs to know what is going to be instantiated. So I looked into the the order of operations in the Unity documentation. So there's a difference in how the objects are spawned. So the gun right now is in scene placed because we're not spawning it indirectly. The bullets, we're spawning it dynamically because we're saying, okay, server instantiate this. But with the gun, it's actually in scene place, so it's not added on runtime, so it already exists in the scene when you run it. But then they have a different order of operations. So for dynamically spawn, like the bullet, first it'll execute awake, then on network spawn, and then start. But then for in scene placed, which is our gun, it'll first do awake, same as the other one, but then afterwards it'll do start and then on network spawn. So there's a difference you need to take into account when, like, knowing when to register things or event handlers and so on. So it's good to know. You can find it in the Unity documentations for Netcode. So that's great, but then we have run into other problems. So first, I think we still have it in, close this one. We still have it in here. Yeah, so only server can despawn objects. So for that, and it makes sense, what we were doing is directly from the bullet behavior, we were saying, okay, start a coroutine, and after that set amount of time, then despawn them. However, we need to have authority over the bullet to be able to do that. So let's just do the same as before, set a server RPC.
Here?
Yeah, and we're just gonna create a new method. So, but like, and after that, we just create a new method.
Yes. After that, yeah. Public?
Yeah.
You should have access to
Yeah.
that.
So public void.
Bullet destroy? Or what should be? No, wait, what?
Yeah, like let me see, despawn server RPC.
Despawn server RPC.
And then we also wanted to not have require ownership over the bullet, so we can just say server RPC, like here, sorry, server RPC require ownership false.
So we go here.
Yeah.
Like we did before. Server
parentheses.
I keep doing that. Server RPC.
Like require ownership.
Server RPC require.
No, like require ownership.
Require obviously. Of course, require ownership.
I mean, we could directly add ownership when you're spawning it, but like just for the sake of practicing, let's just keep going like this. And then in here, what we're gonna do is actually call the despawn. So we can grab these 2 lines of code and put them in the despawn server RPC. And
then run
so in despawn, like the coroutine, we delete those 2 lines of code that we just copied, and instead we call despawn server RPC. Exactly. So right now we're telling the server, okay, I want to despawn them. And then we
try it?
Yeah, so we can try it out and see if it works. And there is also another bug that we find. It's compiling the script. There's another bug that we found out, which is the bullets weren't being instantiated on the client on the proper place, and that is because we're not synchronizing our network, our spawn position of the bullets. I'm just gonna move this over. And well, you'll see what it looks like in a second, but we'll fix that because, I mean, we want the gun to also be synchronized appropriately with the network position too.
Should I shoot as the client?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Oh, sorry, I pressed the mouse.
Can you see stuff?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, no, it is, but like you look to your left.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so as we can
No,
see,
it's not moving.
so right now for the server, the host, the spawn position is here. So if I just keep on holding it, so you can see that the bullet is instantiating from there. So if I go to the server and keep on grabbing to it, where do you go?
I'm here.
Yeah, so you can see that our gun isn't even being networked.
No. What if I grab it from server side? Yes. Okay.
Exactly, because it's like the host, the server has authority over it. Okay, so we have our gun, right? And our gun has an XOR grab interactable, and then shooter script, network object, client network transform, network grabbable, and let's just add.
Does it have network rigid body?
Let's just add a network rigid body, but
Rigid body.
I feel we're gonna have it's gonna overcomplicate things.
I mean, it's already getting there. Sorry. Rigid body network. There we go. Boom.
Okay, and let's also add one. I mean, I'm guessing. Yeah, like what's not synchronizing correctly is the gun, like the gun itself, because the gun hole is just following.
Should follow the gun. Yeah.
Parent, child. So our gunner. We just need to make sure that this is synchronizing. Yeah, but we have a XOR interactable. Let me just remove this for now. So network object, client network transform, network grabbable, network rigid body. And we have a network grabbable, here, which, let me just see. I'm gonna delete this because we're not using it. So when it spawns, when it spawns our gun, then we get the network object. Then we request ownership when this method is called when we do what?
You can right click, find all references maybe.
Yeah. Oh. Thank you.
Where is it?
Go to final references. Yeah, so I think it's being done from the Unity editor. Yeah, so
nothing here.
But then if I go here, so now we're grabbable, so we're probably doing it when we're grabbing here, grab interactable. No, but it's not happening. So we're just grabbing it, but we're not calling, hey, hello, I'm grabbing it. Because if you remember our other interactable that's also grabbable, we're like when hover enter, we're requesting ownership over it. So we need to do the same thing. So we go to our...
the request ownership. Fucking... sorry, my...
No.
Beep, I'm gonna put beep.
So, do you want to do?
Oh, yes. So on this one we have the... Let's just have a look at this one. We have this one, right? So on the act on the event, we put the interactable network request ownership. So what we're gonna do with this gun is to go over here on hover enter, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna press this, I'm gonna pull the gun right into this guy, and then I'm gonna have a look at what it got, and then I'm gonna network grabbable and request ownership.
Beautiful.
Boom. Now it should just
save that.
Control S 14 times.
Yeah. It has to be 14 times.
Yeah.
And then we build and run, and it should hopefully.
So I build and then I run.
Yeah.
For lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Should I try to request that ownership?
Yes, you should indeed.
Thank you for the gun. Are you ready?
And then you shoot.
And look at that speed. Why is it? Whoa, bro. It's a bit of lag.
Yeah, there's some lag.
Because if I keep it still, it will figure out again. But if I'm running around,
yeah. So I mean, normally for bullets, when you're doing it over multiplayer, you usually do ray casting, because there's no physics involved.
Shimmy, oh baby we like it raw. Yes baby we like it raw. Oh baby we like it raw. Yes baby we like it raw. Shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the Michael, I will take it away. Like it raw. Yes, baby, we like it raw. Oh, baby, we like it raw. Yes, baby, we like it raw.
Should we do network variables? Because that's also important. We do that, and then afterwards we do over the internet. But that's way longer than anything else. So.
Oh fuck! That's the way longer than anything else.
So in here we have network object, network transform. So in here you can actually change the thresholds and what is synchronizing. We don't care about the scale, rotation, or any of that.
No.
But so you can play around with this and also change the.
That will reduce a lot, bro.
Yeah, exactly, and bandwidth especially.
And stuff.
But yeah, we're not going to do it here. We're just showing the methodologies, and then you choose to play around however you want.
Let's do them variables.
Okay. So the way we've been synchronizing everything right now is by using either remote procedure calls to the server, and then the server instantiates and tells the clients what to do, or using network transform, network like rigid body, and so on. But there's what those network behaviors use is actually something called a network variable. So if you want to sync anything like health of the player, names, score, exactly, you can use a network variable that synchronizes across the network. So you're not limited in what you can synchronize. If we go into the Unity documentation, we can see which data types are available to be able to synchronize, but it's all the primitive types plus so like ints, floats, and so on, like booleans. Then we also have vector 3s, quaternions, and so on. So pretty much everything that you will need to synchronize, you can. Plus you have the ability to also extend. So if you create a custom data class, you can also synchronize that. It just requires a bit more. But out of the box, Unity Netcode supports network variables for primitive data types. So what should we synchronize?
We should synchronize how many times we hit the interactable, this green one.
Okay. So every time
because it's already networked.
Yeah, exactly. So every time we hover over it, then we can.
Maybe to keep it simple.
Yeah,
you
no.
could also do
good.
bullet collision.
Yeah, but I mean, it's okay. This is simpler, and it's the same methodology for the other one.
Can we do like audio source?
Like
play?
Yeah, we can. You can do
because
the same.
Because there is the audio source on them that's being played. Can
we
play that over the network?
Yeah, you can. You can say like so here. Actually, in this interactable, we're saying on hover enter, then play the audio.
Yes.
But what we can do is same as before. Make a remote procedure call so it says okay, play this audio source whenever I hover enter.
Should we try it?
We can try that.
Because that's maybe a tag more complicated than making a float or int or whatever go up.
Yeah, but I think we should also do the network variable because it's the like.
Yeah, that's the basic stuff.
Okay, cover it as well.
Feet.
Yeah, and then we can do the other one. It's just we've already practiced server RPC's remote procedure calls a little bit. So we have network grabbable. We wanna do it on hover enter. So let's just look at the code that we're doing now. So on hover enter on the interactable, it does all of this. So network grabbable, request ownership, play, material, whatever. And we know that we have an extra grabbable, interactable, and network grabbable, network object, client network transform. We have two network grabbable. This is we don't need to.
Just to be certain.
We can just remove this one. And then so we go into the network behavior for network grabbable. But actually we also have a network grabbable on the gun itself. So we only want it to be done on this guy, correct?
Yes, sir.
So
because it's the only one that is so far.
No, I mean we also have the gun that also uses network grabbable. But we're gonna
that's
have
for the
different
simplicity case because this is becoming very long.
Yeah. No, I just mean that this is the network script for both.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna
It's okay. We're just gonna do it on both. Whenever you grab either the hand or the green cube, it's gonna do it because it's the same script. So okay. So it's very simple. You can just write a network variable. No, we need to add the components. I think. Let me just check the library. I think. So let me just look it up. I don't remember which one it is. Hey, can you try if it has network variable on it if you write it?
Yes.
Great.
This one?
Yeah. So what we want to sync is what the counter is the amount of times, right? So it's gonna be an integer.
What is the name? We don't have the variable.
Score, like, and then equals.
Fuck my.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's new network variable.
Yeah.
And then network variable of type int. Yeah. And then we add the parentheses. Awesome. So cool. and we can have it as private if we want. But I mean, it's just a matter of your own decision. So we have a network variable for like of type integer for keeping track of our score over the network. So now we can do. We need to know when we're requesting ownership. So when you request ownership, that's the method that we're calling, right? But we want to do so. Below that, we could say. This is running on the server and we're mixing up a lot of things. But require ownership false, request ownership server RPC, ULON client ID. Honestly, I think it would be better if we just did it on the player instead, because like here we're gonna be mixing a lot of things in the same script. So I would move this over to the network player script that we made. So over here.
Nice. Sorry.
It's just to keep track of like the network player script is what we're using for keeping track of the player arms. So anything related to the player, like score of the player, should be there. Otherwise, we're gonna mix everything up too much. So in here, we can create the variable that we just talked about, and then here we can create a method that says increment score. So,
implement the method, you say?
Yeah, so we just say the same as before, like so server RPC. Yeah, so the attribute, the square brackets thing.
Forgot there we go.
Yeah.
Does it need to be request ownership?
We already have ownership over our player itself, so it's fine. Then and then increment score.
Should take in the ints.
We're just gonna do score plus plus, so it's fine. So yeah, we have to do score dot value actually because it's a network variable. So and then plus plus, and then we can subscribe. So if we want to detect a change, like let's say. Let me think. So if you want to know when the variable has changed, you can subscribe to the event for unchanged. So let's just do it for like showcasing how you do it. So if you go back over here, we can do it in start, I think actually. So score. It's normally you do it on enable and disable when you're subscribing to events. So it's better probably to do it on network spawn instead of start. So we override the.
Sorry, where are we? Network spawn.
Yeah, we don't have it here, so we just override it.
Yeah.
Network spawn, and then after that, we do score dot unchanged. I think it's called unvalue changed. Yeah, and then we can do plus equals. But in the same plus equals, and then we give a method name that's gonna be called, and that's gonna be score changed. Yeah, without the parentheses here.
But didn't you say method?
Yeah, but we now we're subscribing to it, and now we need to create a method called score change. So void score change. And then we say what do we say? We can print and then parentheses, and we need to also give in the parameters that are going to be received from score change. So if you hover over it, it will tell you what it needs. So can you just alt over it? So like alt enter.
Now you want to see?
I want to know which variable types are needed. Okay, but it doesn't want to give it to us. So
yeah, there's nothing.
Let's just say it's just gonna pass in the previous value and the old and the new value. So in here we can just say int. I wanted to do it automatically, but so old value, and then int a comma int current value or new value, whatever you want to call it. And there you go, the error is fixed because
Alright.
it's passing in the...
Do we still need to print?
Yeah, it's just to know what it's doing. So we can say, we can just print the new value directly. Yeah. Okay, great. So whenever the score changes, it's going to print this current value. So it's just to know when something is changing, because in this case it's just score, okay, it's fine, but maybe when you change the score you want to change some like UI event, or like when the health decreases on a player, you want the player health scroll to go lower, right? So that's why this is useful, but for now we just print so we know that it's executing. And we also need to unsubscribe for the event so it doesn't like go crazy. So on overwrite on network despawn, we can unsubscribe from the event. And then after that we say score.unvalue_change minus equals score changed. Beautiful. And now we've also practiced subscribing and unsubscribing from events. Beautiful. So now we have a score that we're keeping track of, but now we need to call the method for incrementing the score, right? So we want to call this, but it's a server RPC, so we should do it from whenever we're grabbing or hovering actually with the interactable. So we can do what we can do is create a public method public void, and it should actually be called increment score, and this should be called increment score RPC.
Let me change that one first.
Yeah. So I just, like as a reminder, no, but you need to say server RPC, otherwise Unity doesn't find it. So whenever you make a server RPC or client RPC, you need to add at the end of the method that, because otherwise Unity will complain. And then here we say increment score server RPC. And there we go. So, and this method is the one that we're gonna call from within the Unity editor inspector. So if we go back over there, finish script to compile.
It's sitting on the... Where is it sitting?
It's on the like so
On
the
the
interactables.
No, I know it's sitting here, but where does the player network script sitting?
On the player prefab.
So you have to go down here.
Ah, wait, no. So you have to actually add a manual event, like listening to it.
Down here.
Okay, let me just think. We could add our own collision.
On collision enter?
Yeah, on collision enter, but
We can do it, but it's nice to use the events.
yeah, but then we need to subscribe to it. So it's let me think. It's just over like complicating this more than is needed, but
Fuck it. Should we get a tag or something to know what is?
let me think. If we just do directly from the other one, what type of event we can subscribe to. We're gonna have to have a reference to it either way.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But it can be a tag.
yeah, I know. So like on collision enter and also interactable events, we need a way to reference the object that we're interacting with. So if we just keep it as a tag, then
Let's keep it a tag, no?
yeah,
No. Let me give it a tag.
yeah,
It's untagged.
it's just for keeping it simple.
I don't know. Score!
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
So if compare tag,
How was it? I forgot.
yeah, compare tag.
Compare tag.
What's it
No.
called? Compare tag. No, gameobject.compare tag actually.
Isn't it just tag?
Yeah, but
Because then we can see.
it's better performance if you do it with compare tag. And then you pass in. No, it's a method, so you pass in the
score.
yeah inside quotation marks because it's a string. Then we say
What was it called?
increment score server RPC. Beautiful. And then we need to add the tag to the interactable. Which is
I did it.
no, you created the tag, but you didn't add it to the. I've run.
You
I've
have
done the same.
You have I thought I added it. Sorry, you're right.
No, it's because I run into the same error all of the time. It's like, yeah, I just created it.
Okay, what's the problem? There we go.
Okay, and let's try it out. Just the to begin with the host, just in case it doesn't work on the build. Oh, or okay.
Client.
Yeah. Alright, great. So go ahead and try to interact with it.
Yo.
Yeah, you're hitting the screen. Alright, so client is. Alright. Nothing printed. Let me see our. Well, what happens if you do it with the host actually? Oh, I'm curious. No, we're not printing. We can't see it because it's development. I think we also missed something very important, which is if I'm the owner of this. So on collision enter, then.
Yeah, that's right. Can we just put the if here?
Yeah. And.
How is it?
Is owner. Yeah, great.
That's just a bool, right?
Yeah. And then, because we only want to execute this code if we're actually the person that is doing it. Okay.
Cool. Send the pictures to my mom. He's coming with the food.
Okay, so let's just try it in the host, but what do we have here? Score, type interactable. I mean, should we print if it's even colliding actually?
I'm a debug.
Oh wait, no, this is on our network player. We should be doing it on like the other way around. So we give a tag to the player, and then in the interactable we have a.
Oh, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
The hand-made attack. We don't even have a collision on that.
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I mean. It's not even colliding.
It's not even colliding, man.
Yeah. So I am colliders.
Bro, I am
Let me
colliders.
just save, and let's just think about the
I am the one that
fastest way
collides.
to sure. Let's just add a
Collider.
collider to it. But that's on the network player.
also gonna be fun to be able to collide with stuff with your
But this is on the network player, and our network player is.
In the prefabs.
Yeah, but no, it's. We need to add a collider that follows the right hand. Okay, this is just.
Well, we can do that on the prefab, no?
Yeah, we can, but it's just. So I'm just gonna show it. So we have a prefab. We have a network player, and a network player doesn't have anything. But this network player is where we're detecting for collision. But if we add it to the right hand or left hand or whatever, we don't have the network player script here. We have it on the parent. So,
so it didn't like detect anything there.
yeah. So
We need to have that for. Oh shit! Can we do it on the XR rig hand?
yes.
No, because it's not seeing on the client side, anyways.
I mean, we can do it and then call the network player and
On the hand?
do it that way. Yeah. But then you need the reference to the network player.
Sounds like so much more.
Yeah, so I would just suggest the easiest way was probably to add this, like the script, the
To this
on-collision
one.
entry
To this
the
one. Yeah.
interactable,
Yeah. Please.
and then getting the network player off.
Yes, I just created a new script on this guy, right? Or should I use his own?
The network grabbable object.
Where are you here? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to know how many times all your stuff has been touched.
Right.
So I mean, it's good that it's on the network collider.
So in here we.
I already forgot.
We go into the bullet behavior. No, sorry.
Component. It's already here.
Did you? No, you cut this from here, and then you go over to the other side. Yeah, and then you can copy it here. And we need to save both actually. And that one as well. You go back into network grabbable. No, we need to also add the. So in here is instead of calling increment score to RPC, what we're we need to detect the tag. So instead of score of our tag, it's gonna be a player or
player.
And then if you are the owner, then you can call it. So you say we need to get the component of network player. So
In the if?
yeah, so you can say var player equals get component. No, sorry, collision dot gameobjects dot get component, because we want to get it from the object that you interact colliding with. Yeah, that's correct. So var player equals a collision dot gameobject
Collision
dot get component.
What do we want?
What was it called? Network player script. And so if our network player script is not null, I mean, we know it has one because it's compared type player. So
But we still need a collider on the player's hand.
But we do have one, right? We can add the player tag to the hand.
To the hand or to the cube?
Like, so the cube has the other tag, but the score tag, and then the player, the left hand, right hand, wherever we have the colliders.
Do they have a tag and do they have a...
we can add one.
We can add one. Let's see. Boom.
So right now they're tagged, but so whenever, I think it's left controller where we have do we have any events there going on? Yeah, so we have a sphere collider on our left hand. So here we can add a player tag, and also on our right controller.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we save this. We go back to the script, and then in here, instead of calling this, we're gonna say player dot increment score. And what this is going to be doing is it's gonna go like if we go back to the player script, network player over here. Then what it's gonna do is call the increment score method, and then that's gonna call the server RPC.
It's all good.
Cool. So let's try it out. First in the host with no build, and then if it works, we try and build, and then we take a break. Wait, I am colliders already.
Because they collided with the table.
How? If you're on the other side? Okay, well, let's just clear this out and nothing happened. But you need to host first.
Oh, fuck.
Host is starting. Alright, changing ownership. But the score...
Oh, it just changed ownership.
Yeah, it's changing ownership, but because we're hovering and then we're saying grab request ownership. But why is it not printing I am colliders when you're... Can you do it? Ah, wait, does it need to be triggered?
Try. But it was triggered. Oh shit.
Oops.
But it did detected it on the beginning. When it hit the table. Let me remove it and hit it on the table. See what happens.
Remove what?
Because when it hit the table first time, it see out for some reason. It printed a collision.
Yeah, with the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but it is, it is working, but it's because this, then you don't need a rigid body. Like the other guy has a rigid body, so if you have does he have a rigid body? No, it doesn't. I'm so confused right now.
We figured it out. Christian figured it out.
Hopefully it'll work. So instead of using the whole collision detection and everything, overcomplicating it, the XR rig gives us listeners that we can listen to. So same as what we did on the shooter script, we have an XR grab interactable method that listens to when it's activated. So we can do the same thing via script on the network grabbable, which is the one that our green cube has.
So I'm gonna copy this.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna bring it to network grabbable.
Yes.
The thing is right now that then it's not Yeah.
So
It's not active. It's not hover, but it's activate. But
yeah, exactly. So
maybe we can find for the hover also.
but this on network spawn,
We can change that.
we already have it up here, so we just copy what we need from it. So these 2 lines.
This a 2 line here
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
and we put it up there,
Exactly.
and we delete this guy.
Exactly. And then we put it after that.
There we
So
go.
instead of listening to the hover, actually, I don't think we have imported the library, so you can just alt enter, I think, or use the XR interaction.
That's all this XR.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then, yeah, I think you can just alt enter and it'll do it, but we can just check. Yeah. Toolkit.
Oh, interaction toolkit.
Cool. And then instead of activated, we just say hovered or hover enter, whichever it is. In here.
Oh no, yes, I'm just not sure if it's hover yet. Let's see if it's hover enter.
Yeah, beautiful.
Go.
And then add listener, instead of bang bang, it's gonna be or something else. And then we go back to that one and say touched. And instead of activate, it's gonna be hovered probably, or hovered maybe. What does it say in it? Hovered event arcs with capital H. That seems correct. Show potential fixes. It'll maybe help us say generate method, and then we copy paste. Wait, what?
Oh wait, this is what we created.
Yeah, no, I think it's up here.
Oh yeah.
No, wait, there's something. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see if, and then delete that one. But is this right? Where does this come from? Do you hover over it? Yeah, okay, seems correct.
We don't have this.
And then here
don't
we're
need
gonna
this.
get the argument. Yeah, we don't need that.
We're gonna do the plus thing.
So we need to get actually the player. So we were gonna say arg0 dot interactor dot gameobjects dot get component network player. And I hope this works. If it doesn't work, then we probably it's in like a child component or somewhere else.
So
Oh,
let's
wait.
try.
Wait, hold up a second. Jesus, it's not network player. It's a VR rig reference because this is XR rig, not the network player. Okay, not a problem. We will add a reference to it in the VR rig references on runtime. So here you just say var player. No, don't delete it. So this is our player.
Up here.
Yeah, no, leave that as it is, and just add var player equals arg0 interactor, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so and then from it we are going to say player dot increment score. Okay, and now we need to make sure that so this whole get component network player, we need to do it via the VR rig reference because that already has access to that's already detected from our network player. If we go, what we're doing is VR rig references, singleton with position, blah blah blah. So, and it's only done if we're the owner. So what we can do is the same. So we can have our network player whenever we connect. So this is network behavior. So on network spawn, we can add to the VR rig reference if we're the owner. This is the local player. Okay. So instead of this, we're gonna overwrite our network spawn.
Where is it? What am I doing?
Network. Are we already doing this somewhere? Yeah, we are. So here we're going to add to our VR rig references that we're the local player. So after that, if is owner, then curly brackets, we can say VRRig references dot instance, or singleton maybe, what do we call it? Yeah. Dot and we create a method for it called set network player. And then in here we pass in this. So, exactly. So now we create this network player in. No, this needs to be in the VRRig references.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So here we create the method. Public.
What do you call it?
Set. Network player. And we pass in a network player type. And
My player.
Yeah. And then we say we also need to create a variable for it, like a reference at the top, global. And we say public network player, local player. Yeah.
Yeah, we just name it ourselves.
And let's just make sure that this is only set privately. So instead of like, also if you go up, there's like a thing like a property that you can initialize. So curly brackets, and then just write private set.
Private set.
Private, like with the A. Is a separate set, semicolon, and close the brackets. I think we also need to add public get, or actually just get. So get, and semicolon. Beautiful. So what this is doing is guaranteeing that the local player is only set by the VRRig references, so other people can like mess it up. So if you go down now, you can actually set this local player equal to my player. Great. Alright, so now we have a VRRig reference. Yes. So we have
4 students, man.
yeah. So we have on our network spawn, we have a reference to our network player, and then if we are the owner, then because our singleton holds a reference to all the rigs, we added a network player object to it to be able to use it from any other place. So we add the network player as our own because we're the owner of it, and then in there we are setting local player equals my player. So with this done, from our network grabbable object, we can actually, instead of getting this whole thing, we can just make sure that let me think. We need to get the singleton VRRig references local player, but we need to make sure that it's us who are doing it. So
We need the if statement, or what?
that's because it's going to be doing it for everyone else as well. So let me think. Yeah, okay, so yeah, let's just make an if statement at the top over here and say if arg0.interactor dot gameobject equals our VRRig references.
What's it called?
VRRig references is called, yeah, dot singleton or instance, yeah, singleton dot gameobject. Then we can execute the rest of the code, which is this. So of our player, instead of arg0 interactor, we're gonna say VRRig references dot singleton dot network player. So delete this whole line.
That player? No.
The local player, yeah. Alright, great, and then we can increment the score. And what is this green line complaining about? Obsolete. Oh, well, alright, interactor object then. Just write interactor object.
I didn't see how it's spelled.
Come
Fuck.
on, man. What is wrong with you, dude? No, I don't believe you. Get attached transform, what does that do? XRI interactable. Jesus, just what on earth? Just give it. What is wrong with the interactor?
It is a fucking interactor, bro.
Can hover, get type, get targets, transform, game objects. Jesus. Okay, great. Okay, cool. But the good thing is you guys don't have to figure this out yourselves.
Yeah, but maybe don't do everything we're doing right away.
Okay. And let's just try host.
Oh. Hello.
Okay.
What did I do?
And we just try the host first, and if it works, great. But yeah, I mean, I had to figure like this whole out.
Does
Myself.
it work on the other project?
What other project do you mean?
Escape room.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I haven't followed this exact methodology, but I mean,
Should I build and then run after full?
just try host, first that it works, because otherwise,
We are fucked.
yeah.
Yes. I mean, I feel like right now there can be so many things wrong. So many places.
Yeah.
I start host.
And then just directly go ahead and try to interact with it. Changing ownership, dude, don't fuck with me, man. Why is it not executing this code, bruh? Okay, so we figured it out. So it's basically we're comparing the wrong game objects, but we're on the right track. It's just what we're doing is comparing the right controller versus the XR origin rig. What we want is the XR origin rig. So what we're interacting with is our right controller, and our right controller is inside the XR origin rig. So we can get the component in parent. To get the XR
Makes
origin.
it nice and easier, because then you don't have to do it for both hands and stuff like that.
Yeah. So the way we debugged was just making sure that we knew which
Names they have,
interactors.
or what they are.
Yeah.
What's touching who? Who's touching who?
Exactly. So if let's just say get the parent XR rig. So var
What do you want?
interactor XR rig equals and then this whole thing arg0 interactor object dot
Name or no?
not name.
No,
We
not
just
proper.
say dot get component XR rig. I think this is the same data. What does it say? Obsolete or what?
You cannot obsolete XR or deprecate it.
XR origin. Okay, good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's called XR. Really.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I also.
I think it's a different. Just write it and then alt enter so it adds it.
What do you, yeah. I see what you mean. So what is it?
Yeah. So show potential fixes. Dude, which library is it? Is it
Alt enter control. I mean.
What do we have at the top? XR.
Sorry, I pressed Alt.
Interaction toolkit. What if you just say using Unity engine.xr? will it say XR origin now? What? Okay, so dot
Without
interaction
everything.
then. And then we go back
It's
to it.
already
Otherwise,
used.
I'll look it up.
Okay, we needed to add this library, right?
Yeah, unity.xr.core-utils. And remember, unity.xr.core-utils,
Not Unity editor.
yeah, or
engine.
Unity engine, because it took us a while to see that. Okay, XR origin, great. So now, with this, we can compare it with interactor XR rig dot gameobject instead. So
Where do we compare?
yeah, right there, just write interactor XR rig.
Okay. Oh, bro. Hello.
Yeah, so the one we just the
XR. Sorry, my brain. What do we want?
That was good.
We
The
want
game
game
objects. Okay, so just to make sure that we know if this is correct, instead of printing this whole thing, we're actually gonna print this afterwards. I'm just gonna do this, cut it, move it over here. I missed a P over here, and then delete this. Now we print the interactor. Come on now. I guess if the name is the same, but just in case. Cool. Alright, and now we try that in Unity host. And this better work.
Okay, this judgment hour.
No reference exception. Never grabbable. But wait, it's not printing. Were you selecting the correct one?
Yes. Absolutely. It's the same sound.
Well, why is it not printing at all? It was printing before.
Because you removed it, I think, no?
No?
You moved it down?
No, sorry, this is get component in parent. We said get component. This is supposed to be get component in parent. So. Great. And now this definitely has to work. Because we know it has an XR origin, we know it's the same game object, and then we get the network player script from it, from the singleton of VR rig references, and then we increment the score. Alright, 1-2, this is our score, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, great. This is fantastic.
Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
Okay, so our value is changing. Let's just make sure that you see where this is coming from. So when our score changed, then we print the current value, which is the new one, and that's changed if we're our value changed of our score.
And is this network now?
And that should be networked, yes.
This is the final thing for today. Check that out.
Yes.
And if it's not, then I just say, do lots of beep, 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 beep.
Exactly. I mean, I see no reason why it shouldn't.
It's Unity, man.
Yeah.
We never see a reason why it shouldn't. And it still doesn't.
Yeah. Are we gonna see it for the other players? Actually, I'm not sure we will, because it's on the other side. We need to make some UI for it. Just make like a.
Can we see it in the server if the client touches?
Just go as the host in here, and then we can go over and check out if it actually prints it. Okay.
So you
Wait, actually no. Leave it as it is, and this is gonna be the client.
Alright, this is the server. I just pressed the server.
Yeah. No, sorry. Okay. Then we go over here. Yeah, no, actually, this is fine. This should be fine. And here you connect as the client. Alright, great. So if we go back to the server, I'm just going to change this back to scene so we know what's going on. Okay, here the host. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and it works!
Oh man, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore now.
Yeah, so take breaks. They're important.
Yeah, we'll be back. Hello, welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back to 2.0.
Welcome to Jazz Hands. First of all, we're gonna work with a package.
Yes, so as we said before, we want to connect to the internet. We don't want to connect to the internet. We want to connect through the internet to the same app, so we can like do it online. So Unity has two different packages that are provided. The first one is called Relay. So you go into Window Package Manager, then you search for within the Unity registry for the Relay package. Yeah, exactly. And then you go and install, import it, and then once it's finished importing, you go into samples, and then import the simple relay sample, because that's we're gonna start from that to create our relay. And then besides this, there's also another package that we need, and it's called Lobby. So same process as before. You install, import, and then you go into samples, and then import the Lobby Hello World starter asset. Cool. So yeah, we're good to go after that.
And that's all you need to do until reaching this stage.
Yeah. Plus, once it's imported, you have to go into your project settings and enable the services for Relay and Lobby. So
project settings.
yeah, so it was actually fine. This is project settings. If you go into services, and then here you'll be asked to create a project link. So you just click on create linked or create project link or something like that, and it'll create to your account in Unity a project ID like the one we have here, Unity project ID. Do not look at this and copy it, because then it'll be at Ali's expense. It's on his account. So this is basically the ID that identifies this project for Unity services, such as like we're just going to use Relay and Lobby in this case, but they also have authentication, dedicated servers, and analytics, and a bunch of other stuff. And then sorry. You decide whether or not this app is primarily targeted to children under 13, which is not our case. So we say no, then you save, and that will be it.
Yes, there's nothing more to. I mean, we put this on production.
Like, we don't really need to put this in production. It was just to test. And then the next step would be to go into your Unity dashboard, log in, do the whole setup, and then Relay.
You see, I'm logged in here.
Exactly. And then
you can go to your dashboard.
Yeah.
And then log in out of that.
Yeah. So from there you will enable Relay and Lobby. Like the setup is gonna tell you what we've already told you, but just in case you want to follow like a specific guide, they provide one. So once that's set up, you're good to go.
Yes. And then it's over here, and it's actually very user friendly.
Yeah, so you just need to sign in into your account, and once you're signed in...
I'm signed in on Chrome, I think, so I'm just going to go here.
Yeah.
I'm not signed in. It keeps signing me out. So fucking annoying. Yeah, but...
oh, wait, I think maybe you are logged in. Yeah, cool. So this is what the console looks like. You go into multiplayer, and then you have Relay, and then... Like we've already set it up, but there's literally 3 steps, which is what we've just described. And then you just click next, okay. And then the same with Lobby. And then you're good to go.
Exactly. We just set it up so that we don't have to debug in the video so much this time around.
Yeah, exactly. And then besides this, there's there's 2 extra things that we need to do. And that is because we want to test it on like Android builds directly on the VR Quests. we changed the platform from Windows, Mac, Linux to Android. And then besides that, in case you get any errors, you need to do some changes as well in the XR plugin management. So if you go again into the project settings, you can go directly through there. Then, in XR plugin management, we changed it to Oculus instead of OpenXR because we run into a problem that was concerning the Android Gradle. So if you get the same problem, then deselect OpenXR, select Oculus, and you're good to go. You may also get a few errors in the XR plugin management console, so here, but then you just click on the Fix All button and it'll fix it for you. And then the last thing we need to do is in your network manager. Before we had we selected Unity Transport, but once you import the relay package, you can change it from Unity Transport to Relay Unity Transport. And that's what allows you to connect peer-to-peer online instead of just locally. Yeah, that one. So from Unity Transport to...
I cannot see my finger.
To Relay Unity Transport. There you go. And then you're good to go. Then we just change one little script and
let's change that one little script.
Yeah. Okay. So
that script is right over here. Connect. Oh shit! We cannot see shit. Okay, we are going miniature us again. Bye bye. Whee! Maybe we should be in the middle this time.
Yeah. Exciting.
Then you guys can see how fast when I fast forward. I'm sure the time.
So this Connect network, as we left it before, we set up a start host and a start client method. But now we want to start host and client, but with the relay and lobby services.
So lots of more stuff's gonna happen into these two guys.
Yeah.
Do we need any includes? Do we need any new libraries?
We do need a few libraries. So remember how we imported the starter sample from the relay package and lobby? So we're actually going to base it off from that. So if you go back to Unity and search for the package, it's in, you just go into samples and then relay. That one, this one first. And then simple relay, and then we just open the simple relay script just to take a look at what it does. So what this is creating a simple server with all the options that they have. The flow of it is basically you sign in anonymously, just to identify the user that's logging in. Then you allocate a server like in a specific region, but for us in our use case it's just done automatically depending on where you are. Then once that's allocated, you can get a join code, and with that join code, people can join onto that server.
Can we automatize that so that you don't need a join code for our use case?
We can automate that, and that's what we're using the lobby for. So the host is going to be creating a lobby that's going to be public. So when people want to start the game and join as a client, they will join directly onto the first lobby that's available. And that's going to give us the join code for joining the server. And then there's only two buttons to interact with, same as before, start host and start client. Yeah, two.
Start host, start client, right?
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah. So let's just look at our simple relay and start getting things that we are going to be using.
So we will need some of these libraries, right?
We will. So
stuff we don't have already here.
Yeah. So just
we don't need Unity UI, do we?
We don't need Unity UI, but we can just copy the whole thing and then delete the Unity UI because the rest we are going to use, including relay, models, and system.
We don't even have system here.
Nope. Okay, great. And then we can delete Unity Engine and collections generic because we're already using them.
Bye-bye.
And UI we can delete as well.
Bye-bye.
Great. So now moving on to the next one, the variables. So they provide different UI variables, but we're not going to use them. We can just scroll down past the UI, and all of these variables we are going to use. So we can just. Can
you say a little about what a GUID is?
It's basically like a unique identifier. So it provides a random string, and that's a unique identifier for a certain variable for a different use case. and that will be this is going to be what we'll be using for relay and lobby.
So it's a unique identifier. It says a struct here.
Yeah, like sorry if you
What
press.
is this? Yeah.
So a struct is, I mean, it's not a class, but imagine a very simple class where you don't need to specify any methods or anything. It's more like acting like a container of different variables. So yeah, if you're curious about what it is, you can peek the implementation or press F12 and go crazy. But for our use case, what we just need to know is it provides a unique identifier for the specific variable we're creating.
Super nice.
Okay, great. So the join code, we're actually going to rename it into relay code just to understand what's going on a little bit better instead of just copy pasting. Great. And then we can go into our simple relay script again.
Yes.
Thank you. And then, so here we can see that the first thing they're doing is initializing Unity services. So we can copy paste that.
Without the UI.
Yeah. So basically what this is doing is, as it's suggesting, initializing the Unity services. In our case, relay and lobby to be able to use it. So it's the first thing you need to do. And then once we've done that, we can go back into simple relay. And as I said before, the flow is, first thing you need to do is, after you've initialized the services, to log in. And we're going to be logging in anonymously because we don't care about any of the other identity providers. They do provide like Apple, Google, Facebook, I think Xbox as well. So a bunch of different identity providers. Oculus, yeah. But for our use case, we just log them in anonymously. So we just, once again, copy paste this on sign in method.
Where should we put it? On the start host?
No, we just put it like as its own method outside, and then we call this in start. So after we've initialized, like here, so both our host and our client, both our host and our client are going to be have to be logged in and initialize their Unity services.
We have a problem here.
Yeah. So
we have to delete everything UI when we copy stuff.
Yeah, like that. Because we don't care about UI at the moment, and we can just delete this.
And if you put random stuff around, delete them as well.
And then we sign in, exactly. All right, great. So what this is doing is, as you can see, going into the authentication service and signing the player anonymously. And async is basically saying that...
Sorry, I have to take this.
Yeah.
Breaks. We pretend like we didn't have a break, yeah?
So, sign in anonymously, and then the authentication service is providing a player ID for us to use based on our anonymous login. So besides this, remember as we said the Unity transport relay before, we're going to be accessing the same Unity transport, so we can actually specify it, like it's not in this one, but we need to import a new library. It's called what he's using, and then it was called unity.netcode transports.utp. Great, and then with it we can actually create a field, a global field for holding our Unity transport. So we just, in our variables in here, we're going to create a private Unity transport. Beautiful, and then we can attach, like we already have it on our network manager. So what we need to do is to get the component from it. So yeah, we can actually just show it if you want. Wait for it to compile probably.
Did we save? Yes.
Yeah. So if we, after it's finished compiling, we click on our network manager, we can see that we attached a Unity transport to it over here, which we changed to relay Unity transport. Great. So what we're going to do is access this to be able to set the host data and client data afterwards. So on start, we can just, before doing any of that or after, it doesn't matter, we say transport, that one equals get component, and then Unity transport. beautiful. Then one last field we're going to be setting is the maximum connections that we want to be providing for the players. So you can choose whichever number you want, but we're just going to go with 4. So
should we make it serialized? So you can
yeah, just to practice it. Serialized field, and then private int max connections, and we can set it directly to 4. So remember, our serialized field was to be able to modify private variables from within the Unity editor directly. All right, awesome. So now we have a start method that initializes the Unity services and a sign-in method that signs us anonymously. Great, so now what we would need to do is to start the host. But we want to start the host not just locally, but using the relay and lobby services that we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. So if we go into our simple relay script once again, we can see there's an on-region method that if you want to be able to specify where in the world to connect to, you can provide a drop-down menu and everything for your users. But in our use case, we just want to automatically connect to the closest to us. Mm-hmm. And we can just skip this method ahead. Mm-hmm. So unallocate, what this is doing is creating an allocation for our server, so for our relay server. So we can actually copy all of this code, so all of that, except the UI. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we just paste it here and then afterwards remove the method. So we just
want it here, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we can just remove what we don't need from it. Exactly, we copy that.
Should be before or after this?
Before. Everything's gonna go before here. Okay, and then we can delete our region, getting our region, because we're not gonna be using that. So that, and also the comment, and basically these 2 lines. That one and the chosen region.
But actually, it's here we have to do it.
Yeah.
That one, and then this is also the region.
Yeah, this we do want to use, but we can just delete these 2 lines. Yeah, that and the comment over here.
And the comments we don't need.
And instead of, because we're not going to be specifying the region, we can use this, but instead of providing a region, we just don't provide anything, just remove that. And instead of 4, we can say max connections.
Which we just created.
Exactly.
And instead of region, we just say...
We don't need anything,
we don't
actually.
Need anything?
Nope.
No, we don't need anything. Do we?
Wait, I think maybe we're missing a...
Max connection is
No,
wrong?
it's because we forgot to make this an asynchronous task. So an asynchronous task is basically you're setting another thread that's running in parallel. So you're first awaiting this other task to finish, and then once it's finished, you can continue with the rest of the task. So first, it's going to allocate a relay server, and then we can go back to into our simple server script and actually get a join code that people can use to connect to our relay server. So in our simple relay script, we can go on to the next method, not get region, unjoin code, yeah. And we can just do the same, just copy from tribe, yeah.
But basically we just need this.
Exactly. And then we do that right after allocating, so after this line. Beautiful. And this is what it's basically doing is getting a join code, again, doing it asynchronously, and once it's allocated, once it's allocated a relay server, we request a code for that server, and same as before, we made this join code.
But right now we don't have a join code.
Yeah, so we defined a variable before called relay code, and
we can use that.
And we can use that, yeah.
There it is.
Beautiful, and also there we print it.
There we go.
Beautiful. All right, so now we have an allocated server and a code to be able to join with.
And this is the relay code that we just created. Where is it?
It's over here. Yeah, beautiful.
That's great.
We have, we can delete this unallocate method.
The whole thing.
Because we got what we needed from it.
Oh, poor thing. Yeah.
And then, okay, so what we need afterwards is we can do the same step, but for joining with the client. So
down here.
Exactly. So
You remember the green button and the blue button, right?
exactly. So the host acts as both the server and the client,
Mhm.
and the client is just a client. So that connects to the server.
Mhm.
So we can copy this onJoin method, but like only
This stuff?
exactly.
Mhm. Take one you need,
Yeah.
leave the rest.
Exactly. So what this is basically going to do, once again, we need to make it asynchronous
Mhm.
because we have an await method.
Let's do it asynchronous. That's happening up
Yes,
here.
beautiful. So this is saying, hey, relay service, I want to be able to join an allocation. So the host made an allocation server, and we want to join that. So we pass in our relay code to it.
Mhm.
Great. All right, awesome. So now what we have to do is to be able to connect, like somehow show this relay code onto the client. Because if you're in two separate devices,
Mhm.
how are you going to be able to do it?
Mhm.
You can do it over Discord or somehow if you're connecting with your friends.
Mhm.
But if you want to do it directly on the your Quest device,
Mhm.
that's what the lobby service is there for.
So we need to create a new.
We're going to
variable?
create our lobby, so we actually need to import two different libraries.
Okay.
So it's called using Unity .services .lobbies .models, and then the same thing but without the models.
Oh.
Alright, beautiful. So now if we go into our start host, once we've allocated a server, once we have join code, we want to create the lobby and then initialize that lobby with specific data that they can use. For example, whether the lobby is private, public, and which relay join code it is.
Mhm.
So remember before how we were giving the host different, we were giving initializing the Unity transport. So we're going to be setting that transport to use the host relay data.
Mhm.
So what we're going to do is after we've, I think actually we get the join code asynchronous, and then we can actually do it inside of this try method, because if we don't have a join code, then we want to know. So inside of this method, we're going to say transport.
So in the try here.
Dot, yeah,
Mhm.
dot set relay data. So it set host relay data, sorry, because we're starting the host.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna pass in quite a few variables. So you can add the parentheses and the semicolon at the end. So we have to do it again.
Boom.
And inside of this, we're gonna pass in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters.
Mhm.
So the first one is going to be our allocation.
Mhm.
So you can just say allocation dot relay server
Boom.
dot, and then the IPv4.
Mhm.
Then we're gonna pass in another parameter which is going to be of type uShort. So we're gonna cast it. So parentheses uShort, and we're gonna pass in our So inside the parentheses we say
Oh yeah, sorry.
uShort, and then allocation outside the parentheses. Dot relay server dot port. And we just close the parentheses so we don't forget later.
Mhm.
And then we need an extra parameter called allocation dot allocation bytes. Beautiful. And then we give it a key, so like the allocations key. Allocation dot key. And the last one, allocation dot connection data.
Shit, we needed a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is a lot of them. So actually we could just set this outside because we don't need the join code as of yet. So we can actually cut this whole line and put it just before the try
Why?
method. It's because we don't really need to have the join code as of yet, because we're just setting host data to use the allocation that we set up.
Mhm.
But then afterwards we're going to give it, we're going to specify in the lobby itself which join code we're using. Sorry. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Okay, so then we're going to be using a dictionary and data object. So our lobbies library provides a data object, which is basically a way of modifying, like specifying data that a certain object is going to contain. So we're gonna make a data object. We're gonna say it. We're gonna do it inside the try.
Okay.
Yeah. So after we've gotten the code successfully, so after this.
After this part,
Yeah. We're going to say var data object, create a variable to hold our data object, equals a new data object, and then parentheses. We're going to pass in the visibility of our, so data object dot visibility options dot public, because we want to keep it public. In our use case, you can change it afterwards, and then comma, and we pass in the relay code.
and then we pass. Sorry, what?
Comma as an extra parameter.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
And then you want the
Relay code.
Relay code right there.
So we allocated a server, we have a join code, and then now we're creating a data object that's going to be containing our relay code, and also another option, which is making it like visible to the public. And then we're going to add this data object when we create our lobby.
Your lobby.
Yeah.
So your client will have access to this and
Exactly.
can get the relay code.
Because we're making it public, we can read this data object, and then anyone that joins our lobby can read the relay code and join that server. So with this data object, we're going to create a new data, a variable that's going to hold a data object, and it's going to be a string. So given a string, it's going to retrieve our data object. So
we're going to make a public string or
just like a normal string. Yeah. And then data. Actually, it's not a string. Just make it var so it's faster. Okay. Var data equals, it's a dictionary. So new dictionary. Yeah, new, and then space dictionary, and then we're gonna pass in a string inside the and then a data object. So we pass in a string as the key, and then we receive the data object, which is going to be holding our public and relay code options. So inside of the string dot comma, so string comma, and then data object. Beautiful. And then we just finish this off, and then to it we say data dot add.
Where do we do that?
Right there. And then we pass in a string for our key. So we're gonna say quote for a string, and then join code. We normally do it. It doesn't matter which you give it. I normally, like, just for safe usage and like knowing what is a constant, I usually do it in all caps and with underscore. So we can actually just do that for just practicing. So join and then underscore code. Beautiful. And then we pass in our data object. Beautiful. The data object that we initialized just before. So small d. Beautiful.
Small d.
Yeah. There you go. And then to our lobby, we want to provide extra lobby options. So we're gonna say var lobby options equals new create lobby options that is provided by Unity, the lobby. And then we're gonna initialize it with two different parameters. The first one is making it public. So we're gonna say is private equals false. And then we're gonna pass in our data that holds the dictionary that contains our data object, which contains our join code.
We just call it data.
So data equals so capital D equals.
Oh, it's auto completing.
Yeah. So just you can just do this and then wait, no, it's not doing it. No, it's because we have a semicolon here, so it thinks it's just a comma. So we can just add a comma here. It's like the same as adding parameters, and then equals data. Beautiful.
Yes.
And then we close our curly bracket with a semicolon. So this is another way of initializing like a specific variable, is of calling a constructor But normally, like I use this when there's a lot of different parameters, and instead of saying null, null, null or whatever, this is just another way of having it more visually appealing. But it's the same as creating new create lobby options, parentheses, is private, like just sending false, and then data and providing the data. It's just a different way of doing it. Okay, great. So with this, we can now create our lobby with the options that we created. So right after this, we can say await, because it's an asynchronous task, and then lobbies, capital L, dot instance. Same as before, we're making a singleton as we said last time. So create lobby async, because this is the host that's creating it. And then we add the parentheses and add the parameters that we want. We give it a name. We're just going to call it lobby test. Then we provide the number of connections. That's the maximum. So we say maximum connections. And then our lobby options, which contains our relay code. Awesome. So now with this, like once it's generated, we can actually, instead of doing this in like the before start host and debugging it, we're doing it just automatically, but we want to make sure that it happens after you've created the whole setup. So
just to get like make a recap. So the lobby option calls our key, the relay code, because our lobby option holds data, and data holds what? Data object. And what does data object hold? Our relay code.
Exactly.
So like whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So like even if you were to make the lobby public, the fact that we're setting our data object for this specific like data object to be public is what allows our clients to be able to see this, because we can change it to private. So for example, maybe only you want the host to be able to see it, right? So maybe like I don't know, like you can provide different fields such as starting health, which weapons you want to use, and so on. So that's what you use these data objects for. For maybe like the lobby that you're creating, you want it to be only like sniper rifles available. So you pass in which weapons are available to use, and so on. In this case, we also wanted to pass in the relay code. Nice. But yeah, great. Now, after we've created the lobby and we have the allocation with everything set up, we can actually start the host directly there. So we cut these two lines at the end and put them inside.
I just deleted them.
Yeah. So after creating our lobby asynchronously, we pass in, we tell our network manager to start the host. And because we set it upwards, so if you go up, you remember we said transport.set host relay data. So that's why it knows how to start it, because we're providing the information based on the allocation that we provided. Okay, great. So that's it for the host. Now we're going to do a similar thing for the client, with the difference being we're going to get the client the relay join code from the lobby. So the Unity lobbies provide a method that allows you to join to any lobby asynchronously that's available. So that's the thing. For our use case, that's what we want. We want anyone to be able to just join automatically onto our server. So the first thing we're going to do inside our try method is here we were actually passing in the relay code, right? But we need to initialize what a relay code is. So we're going to say first get a reference to the lobby. So var lobby equals.
And how do we get that reference?
And we say await, same as before, lobby. So space in there. So capital L lobbies.
Lobbies. Where is it?
Lobbies dot instance. Dot quick join lobby async. So that's basically, and then parentheses just to finish the method. And this is basically saying, okay, so I want the lobby and I just want to join whichever lobby is available. So now with this lobby, it'll when the host has already created one, we can join onto that specified lobby. And with that lobby, we get the relay code. So now we can specify what it is. So relay code.
This is something below.
equals our lobby, the one we just
Like we want some
went
data
into.
from it? Mhm.
Yeah, and then we access the data that we created, and we data object was the dictionary that we said, so we pass in the key, which was our join code string.
And you made me make it capital.
Yeah.
Join code. Like
Yeah.
join the army.
Yeah, exactly. And then we pass in the value that this has, which contains the
Number.
public visibility and our relay code.
Yeah.
Great, awesome.
So now we has it. We has it.
Now we have it. Now the only thing we're missing
Has cheeseburgers.
is specifying. So we're going to join that allocation that's been made on the relay server.
Nice.
And then we're going to, same as before, set our transport, but instead of host data, our client data. So we're going to say transport.set client relay data. Transport. Yeah, remember it's a Unity transport, which we changed it to use our relay Unity transport. Great. And then we're gonna pass in a lot of stuff. Yeah. So join allocate. We can actually just copy paste the same as the host, with one exception, which we're gonna change later.
And by the way, it should have been a little bit the same way I made the other one.
Yeah, we can just change that now, so they can see it better.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna. Maybe I can just do this actually.
Yeah. It's just an easier way of visualizing.
Visualizing the stuff that's going on. There we go.
And then the last one over here.
There's also one more.
And then we can copy.
It's trying to clean up here.
Yeah, and then we can copy all of these parameters because they're gonna be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go down, and instead of exactly, and instead of allocation, we're gonna call. We can actually just call this allocation directly, so we don't have to change the whole thing.
Join allocation.
Yeah. Yeah, so copy pasting. Then we need an extra parameter that's specific for semicolon, and then inside of it we're missing one last one, which is called join allocation dot host connection data. Wait, small j.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Host connection data, which is the data that our host is providing for our connection. And then we're going to, same as before, inside our try, we just start the client after.
So I'm going to control X this.
Exactly. And then we put it up at the end after this.
After this.
Yeah, and actually we can just move this player allocation upwards before setting the. What was it? Before setting the. What's it called? Like just after setting the player allocation ID. Great, awesome. So we save this, and this should actually just work.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go over to our Unity editor, and then, finish. We wait for it to finish compiling. Then, if you haven't done it already, you go into your build settings. You switch the platform to Android. You change it from OpenXR to Oculus in case it doesn't work. Yeah, we can show it again. Yeah, over there, Oculus instead of OpenXR. In case it doesn't work. And then you're good to go. So you hit build and run, and it'll execute on your
device,
on your Quest device.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna build and run, and then we stop recording.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna build it. So we stop recording, and then we'll
be back.
We'll be back.
Okay.
Is it recording?
Yes. Do you want to be server or?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just launching it now. Tell me when you're in.
I'm in.
Okay.
So you can just launch the server.
Wait, are you gonna? No, I'll launch it. Or did you?
No, you launch it.
Okay. So I'm going to go
press
ahead.
the green button.
Yes.
To launch.
All right. So I've connected now.
So now I'm gonna press the blue button.
Yes.
Yo. Hey, how are you, man? High five. High five. What's up? Punch in the face. Nice. Oh man, come at me, bro. Come at me.
All right. Wait. I challenge you. To a duel! It's my gun! It's mine!
Fuck.
Oh shit! Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, it's mine!
Go for it!
Die!
That was no, get the fuck away, get the fuck away.
Wait, you think you can hide from me?
Yes.
I can teleport.
Oh fuck, no, you're right here. Don't come over here.
Wait, I don't know why I'm hiding. You can't shoot him.
Kickapoo! I'm behind you.
Oh shit! Ah! Run!
I'm behind you.
Wait, I don't have a gun.
Where the fuck is the gun?
No, I dropped it. I'm sorry.
Did you drop it down here?
I believe so.
Remember, we just only put the. Oh, yeah. Only that one we can see move.
Yeah, we didn't network
We
transfer.
can play beer pong.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Wait.
Very good physics.
Yeah. Wait, that's right.